on fire. It's going to be tough, but I've got Real Madrid here. 2-1. A big victory against Barcelona. Byron, you're making noises. I don't know if this is of disapproval. What's your pick?
Well, no, I made noises because you took my score, because as you all know, I go 2-1 on every single pick, basically. But I'm going to explain myself a little bit. So, with Real Madrid... Oh, let me think about this for a second. I listened to Noah on that, and I was thinking to go for a draw, and then I was like, wait a minute, in the El Clasico, is there even a draw? I'm pretty sure do they go in overtime in this game?
No, this is a draw. This is a draw game.
So, once I started thinking like a true soccer fan, I was like, wait, there can't be a draw. So I realized I would have to go to one side or another. I think this game will be very close. For a couple of reasons. These sides are pretty balanced. On the attacking end, you have a lot of star power on each side. You have Ronaldo, you have Benzema, even James. It goes all around. And Benzema, like you said, just can't stop scoring. He did it for France in the World Cup. He's continuing to do it for Real Madrid. Barcelona, you have Messi and you have Neymar. We're all waiting for Luis Suarez. Once he stops biting people, he'll be back. Or once the punishment is over, I assume he'll be biting people again. But in terms of a coordinated offensive attack, I feel like Real Madrid's a step ahead. And their midfield has been working a lot better, their passing has been better, and their defense has impressed me. The goalkeeping from Iker Casillas, I don't know if Navas is going to start better. I kind of feel like Navas should at this point because Casillas hasn't been fantastic. But overall, I feel like Real Madrid wins this because they're more coordinated, they've been on fire. I wasn't sure, but once they beat Liverpool as greatly as they did today, it made me think, okay, this team is legit. They have the chemistry working. They're starting to play well together, and they are ready to do some damage. I think Real Madrid wins 2-1 against Barcelona in a late time. Sorry to copy you, Noah, but I was going to do it first anyways.
It's officially Byron's pick. Nobody can ever go 2-1 again because it's Byron's pick. Jake, you're going to have to change Villarreal from 2-1, and you're also going to change PSG. It's just officially Byron's pick. Jake, I have a feeling that you are headed towards Barcelona here. I've been getting that feeling so far. Jake, are the rumors true? By the way, Luis Suarez will suit up. That's actually another reason that I'm picking against Barcelona, because I think in their first game with Suarez, a little bit less coordination than they will have later on. Something I've learned over the past month with Real Madrid. Jake, now to you. Who do you think wins?
1-1 draw.
Ooh.
Is what we will see here. I think that, again, I believe that Cristiano Ronaldo continues the streak. And for him to... he has to score. I don't see Barcelona scoring 2 goals, even Santiago Bernabeu. I think their defense is good enough to hold Real Madrid to 1 goal. 1-1 is your...
Okie dokie. Well, we were going to talk a little bit Mario Balotelli and him doing the jersey, but we are late on time, and we do have places to go, people to meet, food to eat, lots of stuff to do. So here's some quick news. Mario Balotelli, of course, took off his shirt, exchanged it with Pepe at halftime. Brendan Rodgers says he will deal with it internally. He says, basically, it's not okay. Maybe you do that in other places, but that's not how we do it here. In news that involves the USA and Colombia, after a match was rumored in October, there will be a match in November played at Fulham's ground between Colombia and the U.S. That should be a fun matchup, and I believe this is going to be their second matchup without Landon Donovan, and we will always mention Landon Donovan's name. I don't think we've had a show since Landon Donovan retired, so just shout out to Landon Donovan and everything he did for U.S. soccer.
MLS is still going on, though, for LA Galaxy.
The MLS.
That counts. He's not done yet, if anyone wants to go to LA to see him. Visit Jake Liker if you want.
Visit Jake Liker and the LA Galaxy.
And the Bruins, too. And the Bruins.
And the Bruins. And yeah, so that is some quick news for you guys. No really massive score lines. Borussia Dortmund picked up a win today, in fact. A big win But you know what? Borussia Dortmund's been a little on and off thus far. Sometimes playing well, sometimes playing good. So we're going to go to Byron now. Byron, what's been going on with Borussia Dortmund?
Well, it seems that Borussia Dortmund can't find who they really are, and I will say this because in the UEFA Champions League, they have the max 9 points. They're in 14th place. They've been fantastic. They've been playing together as a team, and they have been doing mostly pretty well. However, in the Bundesliga, which many people have said, oh, this is an easy league besides Bayern, they'll be top four easily. They have 7 points in 8 games, and you know what that means? They're not winning. And they're tying, but not that much. And in 8 games, they have some work to do. And a lot of people have been saying the Bundesliga is, although it's a tough division, Borussia Dortmund has so much more talent. They should be doing so much better than they are right now. What is the issue? And we're going to start here with Jake Leiker, if Jake Leiker wants to comment on this one. Do you think Dortmund can find their groove in the Bundesliga? They've been great in UEFA Champions League play, but in the Bundesliga, they haven't been that good, which is funny because the UEFA Champions League has what most people think is better competition. What do you think, Jake? Do you think they can turn it around?
I don't know. Maybe it's a lack of motivation to win the Bundesliga. I'm really not quite sure what the issue is, but I do know that this team is capable of turning things around simply based on just pure talent. Some teams just get off to slower starts. Byron, you know this better than anyone else here. Look at what Everton has done. That team is certainly capable of going back toward the top of the table, as I think they will do that. Borussia Dortmund can certainly do it if Everton can. This team definitely has the ability to turn things around. And I think they will simply because this roster is too talented not to turn things around at this point. I just don't see them staying at the bottom for long.
All right, I'll go next here. I think Jake makes a good point. There's a lot of teams that have been starting off slowly, but the amount of talent that Dortmund has compared to the other teams in the Bundesliga, they have a little bit more money and they're a better club. You have Marco Reus. Marco Reus is one of the best players in all of the Bundesliga. My connection's good. I lost connection for a second. But this team overall has more talent, and they don't have many excuses to be losing to these teams. I think they need to get their act together. They've been playing well in the Champions League. That could have motivation for their coach to go and say, okay, you have to stop thinking you're so good. And every game is going to be tough in the Bundesliga. Although the other teams in the Bundesliga don't have as much talent as you, they play hard. They do play hard. And that's what happens. A lot of teams can get upset sometimes because they can do it. Dortmund beat Galatasaray 4-0.
We had a little technical difficulty.
It was today.
Yes.
So, my computer's being really weird right now. But I think Dortmund definitely can turn around. They just have to go in and play harder in these games, and I think it'll come because they have the talent to do so. What do you think, Noah?
You know what? I just want to go back to what Jurgen Klopp, after the 2-1 defeat to Cologne, Klopp came out and said, "We are currently in a relegation fight. It is not looking good," and he looked increasingly worried. And you know what? He's absolutely right. I think Dortmund has to look at this and say, and they have to come out with urgency. They are no longer playing like one of the best clubs. This is a massive crisis for them. It's not a pound the alarm, of course. We're early on in the year. But they need to take this seriously. At the start of the season, they had lots of injuries. Royce was injured for a bit. Hummels, Gundogan, Lashakowski, and Sahi, and Mkhitaryan, all of them were injured. But they have all returned, and they're just not playing well. Some of that has to do with chemistry. But it's time that they get it together. They have to come out with a certain level of intensity. Since losing Lewandowski, they're just not clicking. They're scoring goals, and we've seen it in the Champions League. It just seems like they're not playing with the intensity needed in the Bundesliga. They need to pick it up. They need to come out with more intensity than the teams they're playing. The same intensity they're coming out with in the Champions League, because otherwise they will end up in a relegation spot. And of course, that would be a massive disappointment for this team. One of the biggest disappointments we've seen in soccer history, probably, seeing a team like that get relegated. They need to turn it around. I don't think they'll get relegated. I do think they'll turn it around, but right now, it doesn't look good. So, we are short on time. we gotta wrap it up. So, let's go to own goal. And we are going to start with Brendan Rodgers and his game face. Liverpool playing Real Madrid today at Anfield. Coaches meeting in the tunnel. And Brendan Rodgers came out with a kind of a psycho face. Made his eyes bulge out looking at Carlo Ancelotti. Really scary face, to be honest. I was legitimately scared. But apparently it didn't work. Sometimes tactics beat game faces, and that was one of those cases. Also, sometimes fans beat the players psychologically. Liverpool fans, of course, they expect a lot from their team. Sometimes you just shouldn't bash your own players, especially when you're going up against one of the best teams. Doesn't help their confidence. Liverpool fans, of course, trolled Glenn Johnson prior to the match, basically talking about the matchup between Ronaldo and Glenn Johnson isn't going to be good. One of the comments, when Real Madrid attacks, Simone Mignolet and Glenn Johnson are going to be like Robin Williams and that kid when the stampede starts in Jumanji. Lots of negativity here. Guy says, at Running Freak said, one hand says we'll win, the other says Glenn Johnson versus Ronaldo. Then we go back to the Rodgers game face, and they say Ronaldo's face when he noticed he's playing against Glenn Johnson. Then, of course, comes in-game, and Mignolet played badly. Flat face played badly. The comments, lots of bashing. At Hanamai J, Simone Mignolet couldn't save money on his car insurance. I hate Simone Mignolet with a passion of 1,000 tons. I think Simone Mignolet just tried to slide tackle a player in his 6-yard box. Slide tackle. That's not right, that lad, Simone. Mignolet would spill a bottle that hasn't even been opened yet. Can't Mignolet say he's legally blind? Mignolet more like Migno let in a lot of goals. It's been a tough couple of weeks for Liverpool coming off of a great season last year. Really, really bad thus far. And the fans are being relentless towards Flatface and Glenn Johnson, a.k.a. the left back Messi. So it's been a tough going for Liverpool. And last but not least, identity fraud is never good, especially when you get caught for it. Former Derby County footballer Mehdi Abalimba was sent to prison for pretending to be Chelsea flop and French international Gaël Kakuta. He basically went around with Kakuta's credit cards and spent £163,000. They look pretty similar, so I guess I could see how people would get him confused. Went to nightclubs with an entourage of people. He fooled bodyguards, women, spent thousands on champagne and exclusive VIP areas. He was found guilty of fraud in 19 other offenses. Not good. And, of course, he is going to prison. Kakuta, meanwhile, remains contracted to Chelsea, but he's currently on loan with Spanish club Rayo Vallecano. So, to Abalimba, sometimes it's better not to pretend you're a flop. And sometimes it's better just not to commit fraud at all. But it's entertaining for us, so go ahead. Well, that about wraps it up. I know it was a pretty short show, but we definitely were constricted on time this week. But we will end with final words, and we will start with Jake. Anything left for you to say, Jake?
Go Bruins. Spurs, come on, please. Be avenged tomorrow and play your hearts out against us. At least some sort of Europa win. Or even if you lose, don't give up 4 goals to one player. And if you're going to give up 4 goals, don't give him 3 chances to make a penalty shot. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Good luck to the Galaxy. Congratulations on winning Supporters' Shield. We'll see how that goes. Surprisingly, there are some serious... You guys are the most diehard fans in Los Angeles sports are Galaxy fans. There are not many of them, but if you find them, they are serious. And I've always wanted to go to a Galaxy game. Maybe I'll find a way to go out to a playoff game, perhaps. Thanks, guys. I apologize for technical difficulties.